I began my work by carefully studying the finished painting, determining the basic proportions of the figure, the characteristic lines of the face, the expression in the eyes, and the placement of clothing details. To sketch, I used a simple B2 pencil, which allows me to draw both light guidelines and more intense lines. First, I outline the general outline of the head and oval. Then, I draw a central vertical line and 2 horizontal lines for the eyes and mouth. After that, I refine the shape of the face, drawing the outlines of the glasses and hairstyle, and marking the direction of the braids. Next, I move on to the curves of the body. I outline the shoulders, collarbones, bust shape, waist, and hips. I pay special attention to the natural flow of the clothing, noting folds, knots, and contours of the fabric. In the final stage, I erase unnecessary marking lines, soften the contours, and refine the clean drawing, which will serve as the base for coloring. Once the sketch is completely finished and cleared of unnecessary strokes, I move on to painting with acrylics. I work in a specific sequence to ensure the paint doesn't smudge and the elements remain crisp and expressive. I use 3 brushes, a fine brush for fine details, a medium brush for medium-sized areas, and a larger than medium brush for blocking out the background and large blocks of color. I start with the face, as it sets the emotional tone for the entire piece. Using a medium brush, I apply the base nude color with light, even strokes to create a smooth surface. Once dry, I move on to the shadows, under the chin, near the nose, around the eyes, and under the hairline. Using a fine brush, I carefully outline the lips, filling them with a vibrant pink, adding a subtle mesh of light that echoes the style of the original painting. Then I move on to the eyes, a rich blue, a smooth black outline, and expressive lashes. I outline the glasses with a crisp, dark line, maintaining a neat finish so as not to weigh down the face. I draw the eyebrows with contrast to maintain the distinctive, expressive look. After the face, I begin painting the clothes. For the outer shirt, I use a dark olive green, using a medium brush to ensure even strokes while maintaining the brushwork texture, creating the illusion of fabric. I intensify the shadows along the edges and where folds will be. I paint the bra a rich blue, using a thin brush to carefully work in the decorative button dots along the seam. I draw the knot on the shirt in more detail, adding subtle highlights to create a 3-dimensional look. The orange hair is the dominant element. At this stage, I use a larger than medium brush to fill the area more quickly and evenly. The base color is a vibrant orange, and I add darker and lighter strokes on top to convey the texture of the strands. I add a touch of red to the ends of the braids, creating a vibrant, dynamic effect. I outline the braids with a thin brush, emphasizing each strand. I create the background using a free brush technique. Energy and mood are key here. With a large brush, I paint a mixture of blue, purple, and pink hues, allowing them to blend directly on the paper. I leave some brush strokes rough so the background contrasts with the clear outline of the figure. I add a few highlights to create depth. In the final stage, I refine the earrings, glasses, shadows under the clothing, body contours, and fine lines in the hair. Using a fine brush, I refine the waistline, contours of the arms and stomach. I add small accents on the blouse, emphasizing the curves. The most important thing is not to overload the work with details, but rather to complete the image. Critical assessment of the painting. What worked well? Strong color scheme. The bright hair and rich background create a powerful visual accent. Interesting stylization. The combination of comic book outline and acrylic paint looks striking. Excellent attention to detail. The glasses, earrings, and lips' small details add character. The contrast between the figure and the background allows the character to stand out well. What could be improved? Anatomy. The neck and shoulders are slightly out of proportion with the natural figure. The transitions could be softened. Body volume. The stomach, waist, and chest area require a little more shadowing to reduce the flatness. Sleeves and fabric. Deeper shadows could be added to emphasize the texture of the fabric. The background is striking, but could be more evenly saturated so as not to distract from the figure. What could be added? A subtle highlight on the glasses. Additional strands of hair to enhance volume. Subtle reflections on the skin from the clothing and hair. Style of the painting. The work straddles pop art, comic illustration, and stylized art. A clear black outline, vibrant colors, and an expressive figure are characteristic of this style. Who might like it? Fans of comic aesthetics. Those who appreciate bright, dynamic, and energetic paintings. For fans of contemporary illustration and pop culture. For those interested in female characters, animated and stylized images.